Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I have a delicious dessert recipe to share with you, Creme Brûlée, translated meaning burnt cream. It's a creamy baked custard topped with caramelized sugar that shatters when broken. So if you would like to learn how to make this, then let's get started. So the first thing we're starting off with is the eggs. Try to use high quality eggs for this recipe. As we're using so many, you will notice the difference in taste. Start by separating 4 eggs and placing the yolks into a medium-sized mixing bowl. The egg whites will keep for a few days in the fridge, so you can use them for something else. If you have trouble separating eggs, you can crack the egg into your hand and separate your fingers. The white should drop through, leaving you with an egg yolk. Lastly, we need 1 whole egg, so just crack that straight into the bowl. This custard only has 3 ingredients, so it's very simple to make. To the eggs we need to add sugar. Measure out the sugar and pour it on top of the eggs. If you would like the recipe for this dessert, it will be listed in the information box as well as on my website. Using a whisk, mix the eggs and sugar together. It doesn't need to be beaten much, just enough until everything is combined and the sugar has mostly dissolved. Optionally here you can add flavouring. I've used a teaspoon of vanilla essence. The next ingredient is cream. Pour the cream into a saucepan. To make this a little healthier, you can substitute half or a quarter of the cream for milk. The dessert just won't be as creamy or rich. Place over medium heat to bring to the boil. The cream needs to be just boiling, but not a rolling boil, or you'll risk burning it. When it gets to this point, quickly take it off the heat and very slowly start to add it to the eggs and sugar while whisking. Adding it too quickly and you can easily end up with scrambled eggs. We want to slowly bring up the temperature of the eggs so we don't change the consistency of the liquid. Keep whisking for about a minute to make sure everything is well combined. Even if you don't think you have any lumps, it's always a good idea to strain the custard. We need to pour it into ramekins, so it's a good idea for it to be in a jug. Place a sieve over the jug and either pour or ladle in the custard. The sieve will catch any lumps, leaving you with a perfectly smooth custard. Creme Brûlée is traditionally served in individual ramekins. This recipe is enough for 4 to 6 depending on the size. Pour the custard into each ramekin, making sure they are all perfectly level so they cook evenly. All ovens are different, so to make sure the custard cooks evenly, we're placing them into a water bath. This will make sure that the temperature around all of the custards is consistent so they will all cook evenly. Place them into a roasting dish or a baking dish, just anything large enough to fit the ramekins with space around them. Pour in boiling water until it comes up about halfway on the ramekins. Do not use warm or cold water as this will take a long time to heat up in the oven. Bake at 150 degrees Celsius or 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes or until set. You will know when they are done when you move them and they just have a slight wobble in the centre. Take them out of the oven and leave to cool for about 5 minutes. Using something to protect your hands from the heat, remove each of the ramekins from the hot water. These need to cool down completely before adding the sugar on top, so place them in the fridge for at least 2 hours. When the custard has cooled and you are nearly ready to serve, remove from the fridge and leave to come up to room temperature. This should take about 20 minutes. Measure out some sugar into a small bowl, about half a tablespoon per creme brulee. Sprinkle the sugar over the custard and turn it around to make sure it's evenly coated. It is a lot easier to use a blowtorch or kitchen torch to caramelize the sugar, but if you don't have one you can also put it in the oven. Put it up to the highest temperature and place it right at the top, making sure to watch it carefully. You want to caramelize the sugar, not burn it. You will start to see the sugar melt and start to turn into little droplets. I find it's much better to do this slower or else you run the risk of just completely burning the sugar. Place the creme brulee in the fridge for 5 minutes to make sure the sugar has hardened and the custard has come back up to room temperature. Then it's ready to serve. Let me know if you give this recipe a go. I hope you enjoyed it. It looks difficult, but it's actually quite an easy and simple dessert. For more dessert recipes, take a look at this avocado chocolate mousse. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!